All right,
I love it.
Let's move to Grizzlies Warriors.
What kind of audience do we have here, Nekias? Because parts of maybe it's just Warriors Twitter that has deemed me a Warriors hater. That's not where I'm at.
Oh, you got packed up by San Fran? What happened?
Apparently. Well, to be honest, one time on First Take, I said their championship window was closed. Immediately after that show, I was like, that probably wasn't my best take.
It's one of those they're not gonna let you live down, huh?
But I did not pick them to win a championship this year. I'm still taking Phoenix. Mm-hmm. They're a great team. I respect what they do. Jordan Poole has been excellent. And I also maintain that Memphis can make it interesting, as they have, and I think they will continue to. So,
all right. What makes this interesting for Memphis in this series?
Same kind of thing. Let me slow down because I'm excited. The same type of thing we're talking about in the Dallas Phoenix series. I think when you have a team that takes so much pride on the defensive end of the ball, and I do believe that this is a budding rivalry in the league, right? All I want is a chance to guard the best, right? And to me, obviously, Jaren Jackson game 1 was out of his mind. But I was having this conversation with a friend the other day. If Draymond Green was Jaren Jackson's height, like size, there would be no debate ever about him potentially being a Hall of Famer. And I think people sleep on the versatility of Jaren on that back line. Now, very much prone to foul trouble. He's still working through that part. But between his size, obviously Dylan Brooks is now suspended, but his defensive constitution, Brandon Clark has been fantastic. Like, they have both the size and the speed, to me, to hang with the Warriors. Now, it requires an all-time level of mental stamina on the defensive end, because as soon as you sleep or turn your head, like backdoor cut, you out of luck. But in terms of the attitude to do it, the skills to do it, and the actual physical like makeup of their team, I just thought it's a good matchup. It's a fun matchup.
It's a very fun matchup. You're 2 games in, 2 really good games. I'm sure both teams feel like they could have won both of them, and they both feel like they could play a lot better. I can't wait to see what happens next. Now, my only issue with Golden State is, can this defense hold up with this small lineup? And can they figure out a way to show Ja Morant some sort of bodies? If you're watching this series out there, folks, when Ja Morant has at the top of the key, look at the space he sees. That man sees an ocean. It don't matter who you switch on him, and they attack in Jordan Poole, which, by the way, we talk about that if you want to.
Yeah, it might be about that time.
Uh-oh.
You can't have... I know Nekias is ready. He's on the list of guys. He's on the list of guys. I know. It's been in the tuck. Don't worry about it. Hey, we're 101 episodes in. I know you. We got chemistry. They have got to handle dribble penetration much better. They got to have a team mindset. Make them kick. Minnesota gave you a template. That may not be your base, but you can't let this man dictate terms and feel like he can get in the paint whenever he wants. That helps Memphis out so much in the half court, which is kind of their issue.
Mm-hmm.
And if they can bail out with dribble penetration, now that turns into kicks. Now they're getting stops, easy transition buckets. They always have something they can go to. The flip side is they needed every single one of those points he gave them last game.
100%.
And that's the fun of the series, because you can point to that, and Ja's playing crazy. He needs to take it threes now because he knows he can get the paint whenever he wants.
Let's go.
But no one else has it going outside of him and Jaren Jackson Jr. My guy Desmond Main, I don't know where he's at.
I hope he's okay.
Yeah,
is he banged up?
Banged up with the back injury.
Something with his back, yeah.
Soreness, tightness. Yeah, it's not great. But like, it's him being hurt, and also, and Steve, you pointed this out during one of our watch parties, Golden State is keyed into basically every off-ball action Memphis wants to run. Those staggers, they're switching, they're staying attached. Like, Steph's done a good job of staying attached. Like, they can't surprise them with it. And that's actually my question for really the both of you. Because Golden State is not a team that wants to send 2 to the ball very often. And that was Minnesota's template. And that was the way they were able to get Ja Morant a little bit out of his rhythm offensively. And I wonder for Golden State, one, do you want to go that route? because you do have the athletes, especially if you're like Andrew Wiggins on John Moran as the primary. Like you have enough length on the wings to be able to bother Ja a little bit in that way. But the counter to that would be, if you're sending two to the ball, is that a way for Memphis to run some of their actions to where you're just kind of baiting two to the ball and then you're having Desmond Bane run off of a screen? And that's a way for him to finally get free. Do you want him to get going?
The question is if the Warriors should run two to the ball or if the Memphis wants the Warriors to run two to the ball.
No, if Golden State should send two to the ball.
My personal philosophy is you should do whatever you got to do, right? So maybe not the entire game, but do I think that throwing Ja some different looks could benefit them? Yeah, sure. Like what you did so far hasn't worked. So like give it a whirl. Like let's just see what happens. Now I don't that's a good question. I do think showing him some different looks would help. I think it depends on obviously who's on the floor and personnel, because I do think Memphis's size is a smart way to counter potentially two to the ball, because they are the chemistry as a squad. Like that's when Ja throws something ridiculous behind his back to get out of the trap, but Bane's on a catch and then Jaren Jackson's on a cut. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's a little bit risky, but what you've done so far has not necessarily been successful either. So why not?
Yeah, I don't have the. I'm genuinely asking because I'm just like, okay, they are pretty much playing straight up. They're giving Ja switches, especially when they're with their small lineup, and Ja's able to get into the paint. And you don't want Ja to live in the paint and also have the jumper going, and that's when you get the 47 in game two.
To me, the part, and this is where the Warriors deserve credit. The points in the paint battle, they've actually, I know they edged them out in game two. I'm pretty sure they did in game one as well. The transition that's missing in terms of the identity of Memphis, like, yeah, Ja is taking those threes. He's not shooting the most compelling percentage, but he's shooting the ball with confidence. That long rebounds, those are assists for the Warriors to get back out and get out in transition on their end. And so I will credit them for protecting the paint enough, because that is, you literally see the complexion of a ball game change when Memphis is getting to the paint recklessly with a bunch of energy and high flying.
The funny part is I feel like it may just be an easy fix for Golden State as far as, hey, we just need to do this a little bit better. Because if they're hitting shots, they didn't shoot well in game two, puts a little bit more pressure on those Memphis half-court possessions. Those drives don't hit the same. But for me, I don't know that Golden State should put two on the ball, because now you're opening too much up. So now say you do that, you're opening up the roll, you got kicks for shooters, and now you try and go back to your base, Ja's still driving. Now you have two things you got to worry about. Yeah. So I just think showing a little bit more early help would be better. I have a sneaky suspicion, just gut feeling, at some point we see Draymond Green starting on Ja Morant.
For wolf tickets, as they say, that ain't gonna last. They can't afford to have him on Ja.
No, not just for the look.
Yeah, okay, I got you.
Just for the look, not for the one-on-one matchup, but just for the look. You screen, I switch. I'm back in the position I was before I had the matchup. Now I can help. I think we see it.
We did that one time in college. I did the jump ball just so I could get into the press. I wasn't gonna win the jump balls. Anyway, I get that. I get that, Steve Jones Jr. That's a good one.
Hey,
I just think this series is great. I just think this series is so good. And please, you teased the Jordan Poole conversation. Nekias, please, I need to hear this.
It's not even, well, there was plenty of that in game two. I guess we could start with that. This is where Golden State has some lineup decisions to make. Because if he can't hold up defensively, and we're dealing with a small sample size right now, what are they, like a minus 11 in the series when they go this lineup right now? So like it can turn very quickly, and they didn't shoot well in game two. But like defensively, Ja hunted out that matchup. Hunted out Jordan Poole, also hunted out Klay Thompson, but Steve's going to yell at me about that one. That's fine. But with Jordan Poole, they need him to kind of make them unstoppable offensively, because you know what kind of attention Steph garners on and off the ball. Klay is had shot well, but he's always an active threat off the ball. Jordan Poole is the one that he's the second creator for them on the ball. And so you need him going. But if he's not going and he's also getting targeted defensively, that's where I'm just like, okay, at what point does Golden State prioritize a little bit more size or prioritize a little bit more athleticism? Like, when do we see more Kuminga? Do we see more Otto Porter, which I've had some questions about him offensively as well. But like, when does Steve Kerr look at trying to shore up some of the other things that are plaguing the small ball lineup right now? If Jordan Poole can't hang up, if he can't hold up defensively.
That's interesting. I hadn't really keyed in on that, but now that I'm thinking about it, you right. I think that's a trade-off you got to live with in this series. I don't know that you trust Kuminga and Porter on the floor on the offensive side of the ball. Like, is Poole that bad defensively in your mind that you're going now? Otto, shout out to my Hoyer brother. I think he might be able to give you something, but Kuminga's a rookie that's going to show up.
Yeah, like, I'm not super worried offensively. Like, I think he does enough as a guy that can lurk around the dunker spot or just fly in for cuts. Like, they can get enough out of him with the other shooters on the floor. I think defensively be more of the question, but again, like, you might need that side, the added size, the added athleticism, especially if they are going to start mixing in more aggressive coverage against Ja. Like, you're going to want that ground coverage from Kuminga. I think he can help you a little bit more than Jordan Poole could if you're shifting schemes at all.
I'm going to go devil's advocate and try and live with whatever you can get defensively, because that offensive lineup is too tough to deal with. If you put a Kuminga out there, good burst of energy, he can give you good flashes, but that's also going to be an outlet for Memphis. That's the last thing you need, especially with how they already playing off Draymond. So yeah, you can get some high lows, but that's two people they can play off of, as opposed to running around having to play four guys. So I don't know. I thought you were going to go with Kevon Looney minutes.
That's the. I mean, that would be the other one if they want to size that up.
Yeah, that's you about to slow down everything though. So, I mean,
you might want to slow things down against Memphis though.
I hear not on their offensive side though.
For Golden State,
for the Warriors, yeah. I don't think Kevon Looney is the fix.
What's funny is, though, I think the Warriors did kind of slow things down. They went pick and roll heavy in game 2.
Super. And it's as go ahead, Steve.
No, go ahead.
No, but you were pointing out Ja's looking at an ocean. They definitely went pick and roll heavy. They're doing a really good job of getting back in transition and setting up their defense, right? Like, it's literally like defensive drills. Oh, cool. Everybody has one foot in the paint. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I thought, I'm with you. In the second half of game 2, I thought the Warriors notably slowed things down. But I thought Memphis did a decent job of responding. Now, granted, most of that was Josh 47. So we got to see what that looks like moving forward. Memphis has been really rushed on second chance opportunities, which I don't understand. Pump fake, like, get to the free throw line, like, stop, bring it back out if you need to. That frenetic, like, middle school basketball, like, what are y'all doing? Stop. It's not that serious. You got options.
Yeah, you don't want to feed Golden State transition opportunities, especially after, like, second chance opportunities, because now you're looking at, like, 5-on-3s, and you just don't want to. That's not a mix you want to get into.
No, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued by the Warriors doing matchup hunting stuff with Steph Curry and what they can do pick and roll wise with Draymond Green in that lineup with him rolling. And if that is going, plus they're actually making shots, because Jaren Jackson Jr. is going to help off Draymond, and that's going to be an automatic swing and someone's flying off for a 3. And if those are falling, we're having a little bit of a different conversation.
And they're going home. They're going to the crib. Who's Melton? No, Anderson or Melton will start for Brooks probably.
Who would you start with Dylan Brooks out for game 3?
Dude, sometimes Kyle Anderson really be moving in slow-mo, and I'd be like, dog, come on. Like, come on. I've been impressed with Anthony Melton. And although Zaire Williams had some moments where I could have pulled all my little hair out, he also had some, okay, I see you, young fella. Like, you know what I'm saying? He probably came out about even at the end of the game because what are you doing? I like the upside of Williams. It's a really big spot. You definitely don't start him. I think you go Anderson to start. And we talked about slowing the game down. Like Melton is a little bit more inclined to pick up the pace, I think, on the offensive side of the ball. He could be probably a little bit more of a dog one-on-one defending. But if Anderson is in the right place, like he gives, the length that you would need to contend with the Warriors.
Okay, Steve, where would you go?
I think I go Zaire.
Really?
I think I go Zaire and you can always give Melton, keep him off the bench, give you some sort of flow because you might want him with that lineup. I think you go Zaire. What's going to be interesting is with Steven Adams coming back. What does that do to does Tillman just not play anymore?
I love Tillman though.
Go ahead, say it, Nekias.
Hashtag draft good basketball players. He shouldn't have slid.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
One would think.
No, Tillman will be fine. Tillman will still play. Steven Adams becomes a thing when Kevon Looney's on the floor. It'll be great. Big man basketball.
There we go. I would probably go. I think I'd also go Zaire. Like they've started him before. It's not like he hasn't got the Warriors matchup before as a starter. Like they've thrown him on Steph during the regular. It's playoff time, so it's different. But like he's gotten the reps against them already. And to Steve's point, it's a way to kind of normalize your rotation still. If you just put him into that spot and